6:03, calling the meeting to order. Is there any public input?
There is not.
Okay, so I move to approve the minutes from our meeting on March 28th. Did folks get a chance to take a look at them? What'd you find, Peter? Wait, your audio's off.
Yeah, I honestly didn't have a chance to read them. Today's been a bit of a nosebleed.
Yeah, I move to approve them. Anyone else?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, awesome. We have an update for the capital tree planting program, Paul.
Okay. We've got a variety of locations that we've put together. We've got the DEP Urban Forestry Equity through Capacity Building grant for the 29 trees at the Children's Learning Center at Rudner Court that'll be going. Looks like we're trying to set up a date with the Housing Authority for the beginning of May.
Yeah, I can talk about that separately. That's different because that's not coming out of our capital tree budget.
Okay, and
That's,
then
yeah, that's a grant.
we've got the other 24 trees that are going to be going in along West Cedar Street property line over at the Norwalk Community College. And we have various other locations. We've got 3 going in on Merrill Road. We've got some in the Marvin Beach area. We've got a couple of housing authority complexes that we're going to finish up that we didn't get to in the fall. Right now, we also have been looking at the 1st through 5th Street area. We've got 23 trees on 1st Street. 3rd Street, we're going to have 4. 4th, there'll be 14. Cliff Street, we've got 4. Soundview Avenue, we've got 13. East Avenue, including the 3 that we planted for the Earth Day celebration, there are going to be 6 total there. And then we've got those others that we'd already mentioned, and that's everything for right now, but that's going to put us well over 120 trees for the spring so far.
That's great. Okay, so just a little bit about the trees along West Cedar Street. Just before we went live, we were kind of chatting about that internally. On Saturday morning, a few trees were taken down from the Norwalk Community College property along West Cedar Street. They were dead. And I believe Rich and Paul went out and took a look at the property, working with grounds management over there. And you're looking to put an additional 24 trees, is that correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Do you know what kind of tree, Rich, you were looking at to put there?
I'm looking at the sweet gum slender silhouette because it's a really narrow planting bed between the
Yes.
parking lot and the sidewalk on the road.
Mhm.
And the wires come across the street diagonally, kind of. So at the very end of the planting, the wires do come into effect, but slender silhouette won't impact the wires or have to be hacked apart by the power company. And the gentleman that lives right across the street from where the planting is requested new trees for screening to the parking lot. And I said, well, these trees keep dying. I go, they're all diseased. I go, we'll go with something different.
Mhm.
So it's a little tighter formation of planting because slender silhouettes are more vertical than broad spreading. So that's why there's 24 of them.
You put right, so they're going to be much closer. Sure, I
A lot
think that's a
closer and he'll
real-
have screening and he'll be happy, and
Mhm.
parking lot will have some trees and the street will have some trees.
Oh, I see. So when he saw you taking down those trees, he was concerned that he was going to have like a really nice view of the park.
Yeah, he's got a really nice view right now.
now.
Wide open.
I think those silhouettes are going to be great over there, and
Yeah, it'll make a nice impact.
yeah, it'll be a nice impact, an immediate impact, because you know they're going to be so so tightly collected there. That's great. The other program that Paul was mentioning, the urban forestry grant we had applied for that and got it almost a year ago, but they had some internal things going on and it was extended. But that was fine for us because we decided to wait until the spring to plant at Rudner Court. Just to remind people, the Children's Learning Center is at that particular facility. It has 3 sides of a kind of, I don't even want to call it a playground. It's like a little outside area. And the building is on the other side. And the kids really have no view. I think it's a junkyard across the street. It's in a little bit of a commercial area. And the trees that are going to be put there, again, Rich and Paul took a look at that area, or at least I know Rich did, and decided on 29, I want to say Green Giants, is that right?
Yes.
No, I think we went with the,
The emerald green.
The Emerald Greens?
yeah, because
Okay.
there's no, well, I don't think there's a deer issue down there. But when the kids are in that like learning area, they're really on display,
Yes.
roads so close to it. So these will be also planted pretty tightly, and it's more for like a buffer from the road to their outdoor learning area.
Yes.
Rich, is there a
And-
fence there? as well?
Yes,
There is a
there
There
is.
is,
yeah.
there's a metal fence there now that kind of sections off their area. But Rich is right, literally on the other side of the fence is a few inches is the road.
Yeah, no, I was worried because if they play hide and seek through the trees, they'll run on the road. So the
No,
fence.
it's all fenced.
It's all
Yeah.
fenced
It's
in.
all fenced
Making
in. They're watched pretty closely over at that learning center, but it's just gonna be one deep going around. And so obviously from the aesthetic standpoint, it's gonna be immediately impactful. But as Rich was mentioning, it's a buffer to give the kids some privacy, but also protect against some of the emissions and noise coming from the road. And yeah, I mean, nobody likes to feel like they're outside in a fishbowl, you know? And then they had some deteriorating wood picnic benches. They purchased some picnic benches from an online site, and they're not happy with them. And so I sent Paul a link to a maintenance-free bench that was in a price range that would allow us to additionally, in addition to the 29 trees, purchase 3 maintenance-free benches for them to do artwork outside, have snacks outside, and be, seated kind of together without getting splinters. Okay, so that's, a really positive thing. So, and as Paul mentioned, I mean, we are upwards of 100 trees, which is really, what's happening is we're doing so well, but we're making it hard for us to keep topping ourselves, right?
We've got some other projects too, for sidewalk projects that are in construction right now. And if
Mhm.
they get far enough along before the end of this spring, I'll see about adding some of the trees that we were gonna do at the end, those projects. Maybe we can probably get another 20 or 30 trees right there alone.
Awesome.
Great.
And the next item is the Earth Day event on the green. I know you're in the background, Dee, but Delene was there representing the DPW. And
Yes, I
and Paul was representing TAC, right?
Yeah,
The
DPW tax
advisory
planting
committee?
program.
And there was also a table from Norwalk Community College, the Environmental Science Club, and there were a revolving door of students there throughout the day. Not the best weather, but the rain held out. So it was really well attended. And even just from last year to this year, you could see how it's grown. It's really such a fantastic thing. And so, kudos to Audrey and the group she put together to pull that off, because it's not an easy feat to coordinate like that.
We were able to plant 3 new sugar maple trees over on the East Avenue side of the green. I want to give a shout out to the First District for allowing us to plant the trees on the green too. With the new administration, they were able to allow us to do that. That probably would not have happened in the past. So thank you to them for allowing us to plant the 3 trees. And it was including the staff for all of the booths, there was approximately 400 people there.
Wow, that's good.
Easily,
I
yeah,
didn't quite make it up
throughout
to
the
him.
day.
I didn't quite make it up the hillside today.
You're working a lot these days, Peter.
There's a lot going on,
You
yeah.
really are, yeah. Rich, did you want to update us on that Arbor Day cleanup event?
That's still on. We're doing Arbor Day, pre-Arbor Day, I call it. Cleanup for tomorrow, actually. We have a bunch of volunteer tree companies and the city crews are coming. We got 2 of the DPW crews, two crews from Eversource, the Lewis crews, a crew from Hutchinson, we can't forget them. Crew from Bartlett, a crew from Orchard. I think there's 7 or 8 crews there. We're starting, it's not a public event. This is just for contractors. We're gonna rally up 8 o'clock tomorrow morning at the old YMCA parking lot. 470 West Ave, I think is the address.
It's 3, actually, it's 370.
370, good. I sent everybody the wrong number. I gave them all reminders. They said, yeah, we know where it is. So we're gonna do the bike trail. We're gonna do the intersection of West Ave and Connecticut Ave.
Beautiful.
It kind of mirrors, what do they call the section that's real nice there? With the-
Heritage Park. Heritage Park is opposite. So that's,
Wall, they call it.
huh?
Heritage Wall.
Heritage-
Yeah.
I think it's Heritage Park or Heritage Wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Heritage Park, Heritage Wall. So that's really nice and groomed and doesn't have all these invasive trees or broken dead stuff. So we're gonna clean that up. That's kind of like a focal entry point into that part of Norwalk. So
Rich, you have a press,
all 3 of the 4 corners cleaned up. One doesn't need anything. Heritage Park or Heritage Wall is very manicured. And then we're gonna work our way down the bike trail. There's a bunch of dead stuff and leaning and down broken trees. We're gonna clean up and we're gonna do that till about 11:30. Then we're gonna bring all the crews back into the parking lot. We're gonna give them all a pizza lunch, and I think the mayor's coming and some other people.
And yes, the mayor had said that he was going to come to thank the guys like he did last year. The Lady Andrea, that is the new head of the NRVT board. She said that she was going to come down and thank the guys for doing the work too. And so that way there we can have the little pizza party to thank them like we did last year for the half-day work. It's a great thing. And we want to thank all of them. Olmsted is another, they said they would give us a crew too.
Yeah, I left it out. I'm sorry.
We want to thank them for doing the work because it's a half a day of free work from a variety of tree crews. It's a big help to the city and it saves a lot of money for the city too.
Yeah, and I just want to say, I've been working with the guys and all the companies, and they're all donating their staff, their equipment, their fuel. They're not charging anything. We did it last year. We got a ton of work done. We actually have a lot of crews in kind of a tight area, so I'm thinking we're gonna do a pretty super duper cleanup job.
you might get those 2 blocks entirely.
I think we'll get everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have a press release ready to go for these guys?
I had sent all the information to the communications director, Michelle Woods, and asked her to put something together. So I would imagine.
Yeah, they need credit. They need credit for it.
And what
I
we're gonna
agree
do-
with Peter. We need to definitely, toot our own horn every now and then. It's not an easy thing, Rich, for you to get all those people to donate. People, time, just everything like that. To do that work for free. And we should definitely get something out in terms of a press release for this Arbor Day cleanup and for about our urban forestry grant. Those are 2 really noteworthy things. So Paul, do you want to be the point person to reach out to the city person, I guess, Michelle, on that, or do you want?
Yeah. What I think I'd like to do is I've already sent her information related to the Arbor Day cleanup event tomorrow. And then as far as the grant, at the time, I'll approach her and ask her, and maybe if something comes from you too, Erica, we'll ask her from 2 different directions, and that way there we can see if we can get something to acknowledge it, definitely.
I mean, I
It
don't know.
shouldn't, it shouldn't be a big, I mean, it shouldn't
No.
be a big deal. I
No.
mean, yeah,
She's very good. She'll take the time, she puts it together. She works with our departments on information to make sure she's got it right, so.
no, that's
definitely.
great, but my question is, are you going to email her about these
Yes,
2
I will.
events? Okay, because
Yes.
I didn't want to do it and have her get flooded with emails, because I'll do it, because I think those are 2 very noteworthy things that we should.
Yeah, and like I said, the email for the cleanup event, I sent it a week or so ago already, and I sent her another one just the other day.
But I think to Peter's point, for them to get credit, she needs to know exactly who's donating their services, not
Yes.
just about the event in general.
Yeah, and what I'll do is when we get the actual list of everybody that shows up there tomorrow, we'll follow up with the list and make sure that everybody has the names so that they can get the acknowledgement that they deserve.
Perfect, maybe with like a nice photo or 2.
Yeah.
We
Awesome.
took
awesome,
photos
awesome.
last year along MLK. It was pretty impressive because we had, whole lines of crews. This is kind of similar. We don't have overhead wires. We don't have to worry about that. It's a little better because we don't need a lane closure or traffic control because we're on the bike trail primarily or far enough off the road. And then Paul and I, and Peter, when we looked at that area, we also looked further down the bike trail. And I think we might have next year's location already kind of scouted out.
I don't know. It looks like you're gonna cover a lot of territory tomorrow. The other thing is, since we've opened the door to cleaning that area, there is opportunity for planting, in this case, really native trees,
Yeah,
working in
And-
consort with the state. Yeah.
From what I understand, there's a grant that's already been applied for to do some planting in those areas. So this is very similar. Instead of us doing the planting though, like we did last year, it's another group through a grant after the cleanup.
Yeah, the problem has been because it's state property, we always have to follow rules, which make it problematic. Or I shouldn't say problematic, it just
nah,
adds,
it's not problematic.
it adds a bit, another level of
It
challenge.
adds another layer.
Layer.
Makes it
But
more
they were very
challenging.
nice. When we walked it with them, they were very nice this year. They thought it was good. They agreed. And really some of the area stuff that's coming over from their property. So they were more than willing, when we said we were going to get it done free of charge, they were more than willing to let us do it. And they really didn't put us through any major permit process either.
Here's a concept for you. You like those columnar sweet gums, Rich? Think about a backdrop of columnar sweet gums on Union Park. On the side of slope of I-90 of Route 7. Think about a wall of sweet gums as a
That
backdrop.
would look pretty cool.
It would look very cool.
Yeah,
So just, let's keep, when we're thinking about it. I don't think First District would have a problem with that.
they probably wouldn't. That would be a nice backdrop to the park.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
One of the things, once we get it
Park's a
cleaned
third
up,
of the size it was. That's a third of the size of what Union Park was.
Yeah. Well, we're working our way down to that, so like I
I think you're gonna make a
target.
good hit tomorrow.
and once we get that all cleaned up, like we talked about, Peter, when we walked it, it would be nice, those 2 corners that will serve as the gateway to that area right across from Matthews Park. If we can
Got
get
it.
you to put together some kind of a planting plan, we'll get that executed for the fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'll look neat.
Absolutely.
Awesome, sounds great. And I think the last thing is the Arbor Day celebration this Friday, the 28th at Rowayton Elementary School.
Yes, we're in good shape. We had our final planning meeting on Monday. Everything is good. The principal and I approved the program listing today, so it's all ready to go to press. We've got a variety of people who said they're going to be coming. We've got possibly Senator Duff, Representative Johnson is going to be coming. We've also got several council members that will be coming. And obviously the mayor will be there to present the proclamation. And we will be planting 2 trees this year, 2 Yoshino cherries, one in the front of the school, one in the back of the school. And we've even got a backup plan with having 2 tree companies this year. We've had for the new contract with Minutemen and Olmsted. Minutemen has agreed that they are gonna, if we need to, because of rain and having to have the event in the gymnasium, it worked out very easily that we could wheel a tree in. So we're gonna have a sample tree in the gym this year if the kids can't go out to see one planted. And we'll be able to bring that in and then take it out. But that's a little something that we've done different this year also. And then Erica, I'll let you talk about the other part since it was your idea too.
Yeah, that's fine. One of the things that we had mentioned, I think, with all of us here at our last meeting in March, was that we didn't want to hand out the little bagged trees, miniature trees, saplings for the kids because most of them never made it into the ground. Some of the kids live in apartments, they don't have any place to put it anyway. And it, is a waste of resources. And so we decided that bulking up their classroom libraries with books that are environmentally based or, tree friendly kind of books, and so that they can learn about tree anatomy and whatnot. And so Paul got some information about the different age groups, and we're purchasing 3 or 4 books for each classroom, age appropriate, so that they can have multiple copies. What is it, 1 through 5 or 1 through 6?
And 1 through 6, and they
1
have
through 6.
2 STEM classes too, so it ends up
So,
being 26
well,
books.
They can share, the STEM class can share the books.
Yeah. Yeah. And instead of going through the issues with the procurement guidelines and everything, I was able to talk with the Tree Alliance, and they've agreed that they will pay the cost for the books.
For the books, which is very nice. And Cindy last month had an idea about going to the library, but the library gives away or donates books that are usually outdated and not in the best condition. They're not giving away anything that would be like multiple copies or specifically age appropriate for grades 1 through 6. So while it's a great idea and I appreciate the recycling effort, if we're going to give a book, a couple of books to each grade, we had no choice but to buy them. Uncle Amazon.
Maybe when you're ready to show the Lorax as a preview, the tree age.
Oh, I love that. Do you know that I have an assignment for college students on the deeper meaning of the Lorax and the whole logging industry in California, and just, like really taking it to the next level. And there is an online reading of the book where she's literally a kindergarten teacher holding the picture book, reading it. And I have my students watch it and then kind of discuss it. It's really cool.
Great.
Yeah. And this way they don't have to buy the book. And some of my students are not, English is not their first language. And I noticed in the past that some of them thought some of these words were actual real words that they just didn't know, not understanding that Dr. Seuss makes up all of these fantastical terms, which how would you know if it's not your language, right?
I don't know.
So her reading the book turned out to be a great thing. And I agree with you. It's a
You
fantastic.
trying to tell me those aren't real words? So
I use them all the time.
One of the things that they did this year with the program too, the principal decided that rather than do a surprise for the winners of the poster contest, they've announced them. And what they did is they actually put the winners of each grade in the program this year, and then Doubletree will be doing like they usually have done in the past.
I think that's so much better. Do you remember the year that I was the speaker? I actually said something to the person. I was like, oh, congratulations. Everybody was like, oh, they don't know. So silly. It's better for them to know. Then they'll brush their hair and stuff.
And now their names are right in the program underneath the picture.
Exactly. It's a keepsake. I agree. Good. I'm glad
So
you
they did
changed
that
that.
this year, and Doubletree is still going to has agreed to give away the night at the hotel for the families of each grade winner. So that's 6 of them that they're giving away to there. So it's all coming together good. We just got to
For
hope
them
for
to
good
stay
weather.
down the block in Norwalk.
Yes.
Woohoo!
you got to hit the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Is there any other business?
I think they took the rain out of the forecast for Friday.
I didn't see rain for Friday, but.
Oh,
everything-
they had it in originally.
Oh,
yeah,
it was,
yeah,
okay.
Now it's gone.
Good, good.
Good,
We're making the
good,
call on gymnasium or outside at noontime
I
on
think you'll be
Thursday.
able to do outside. I hope you can do outside.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so.
Good.
Awesome. All right, guys, move to
Okay.
adjourn.
That's it.
Good.
You can tell I'm
Okay.
tired. I don't have new business.
That's how busy you are.
You can tell.
All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your night. Take good care.
All right,
Take
thank
care.
you.
Good night.
Bye.
All right.